Hello everyone, I'm Rhonda Nicholson. This is my Module 3 Initial Project Planning Sketch assignment that I will be going over with you today. In this assignment, we're going to be looking at learning computer hardware basics, looking inside of a computer. The goal for this assignment is to teach learners how to identify and define fundamental components of computer hardware. This project will help learners master the fundamental components of internal computer hardware. Being that I am an instructional designer and not a classroom teacher, I decided to teach a class on technology, being that I have a technology degree and I am in educational technology programs and classes. So I have used this assignment before and it has been really successful, so I thought I would rewrite it and modify it to meet the objectives for this class. So the objectives for this assignment would be that students would identify internal parts of a computer. Students will learn various internal components that make a computer work. And 1C, which is based off of the Alex Alabama Learning Exchange website, and 1C, 1D, and 3D all come from the Learning Exchange website of the state standards, of course, the study state standards. So 1C is students will use technology. I have generated Google Forms, created a video, and we'll be using the snipping tool to show learning. 1D, students understand the fundamental components of technology operations. They demonstrate the ability to choose, use, and troubleshoot current technologies and transfer their knowledge to explore emerging technologies. In 3D, students build knowledge by actively exploring real-world issues and problems, developing ideas, theories, and pursuing answers and solutions. So over here to my left-hand side, I have created a PowerPoint that follows along with the 5E lesson plan for this assignment. I also have included for this assignment differentiation strategies that helps learners with challenging needs, special need accommodations. My goal for this was students will be assigned an instructional aid for added support. Lessons will be modified to meet IEP standards, and more time will be allotted to meet the needs of the students. And I have a little bit more about that further down in this assignment. So my evidence of learning, where to engage the students, I will ask a question about the parts of a computer. And I have incorporated a YouTube video to engage the students on the topic. The students will watch learning the parts of a computer and computer basics inside a computer. Both of those are videos that the students will watch, and this is to learn their attention. And following that, we will have hands-on learning. And for the hands-on learning, learners will label the parts of a computer. And it's their job to download the attached document and label the parts of a computer. Students are to download the attached document and then label the internal parts of a computer in the appropriate blank. I will allow learners to watch the video, which is the one that we just discussed, Computer Basics Inside a Computer. After they watch that, then they're going to use that as an open note resource before the assessment. Learners will take a picture of this activity and then submit for evaluation, which is for guided practice. That assignment will not count as a grade, it's only practice. This link here is internal parts. It's a document that is a practice worksheet, and I've got a picture of it right here. This is the sheet that's labeled. You can click on it and it's opened up into a Google Doc. And the students will label each one of these and put it into the correct blank. And that's just for guided practice to help them prepare for the final exam at the end. The example 2 activity is the teacher key. And this is giving them the correct answers that they could use to make sure that they get all the answers correctly for guided practice as well, an extra resource. And then after students have watched the videos, learning the parts of a computer and computer basics, I'm going to share with the students a digital newsletter presentations that I created from S'more. And it has specific content about the computer hardware basics and vocabulary words to prepare students for the final exam. And I'm going to let you take a quick look at that right here. I created this through S'more, and this is a great platform. I mean, it does a lot. But as you see, I got my purpose statement, the parts of the computer, what it's for. Each one of these, the computer, the characteristics, computer hardware, the actual internal components, the objectives for the class. Each of these will be on the final exam at the end. The students will go through this assignment right here, and once they do that, then they will it will prepare them for the coming up test at the end. Then they're going to have an individual project. I'm going to have them create an infographic. They're going to illustrate their knowledge to define and identify the internal components of a computer. Students will use technology skills to show their work. And I have an example right here. I created one. We can click on that, and the students can use this as a guide to create theirs. And then we'll have a group assessment. Students are to make a video project. Students are to make a video to define and describe each internal component of the computer. There's a click and learn resource. This link will take the students into the actual click and learn, and it's actually right here on my S'more. I've got it incorporated right here, as you see the click and learn. When they go into this assignment here, the students will actually be able to drag and drop the internal components, and they can play this game until they get it right. I think it's pretty neat because it does help to place the components in the right area and learn what each one are. The students are to create their own, pair up in groups, and they are to create a video. They're not to use the teacher example, but to create their own work. The group assessment will require students to describe and define internal parts of a computer. Students will use their knowledge to describe their components that are needed to make the computer work. Students will review the link above, click and learn, and then create an informative video to educate others about how the computer operates with each of these components learned in the video. And they can use any type of media resource that you choose. It's your choice. Differentiation strategies, the learning styles for special needs accommodations. As I mentioned earlier, students will be assigned an instructional aid for added support. Lessons will be modified to meet IEP standards, and more time will be allotted to meet the needs of the students. The description of assessments. For this category, to help students grade work and individual project, I'm going to incorporate a rubric that identifies the internal parts of a computer. I'll click here for the rubric. And it opens up into a Word document. And it shows very good, good, fair, and poor. If the students has graphics, this is actually going to grade their infographic that they're to submit. Recognizing internal parts of a desktop computer, the attractiveness and organization, the content and how accurate it is, the writing mechanics, and they have 4 different categories: very good, good, fair, and poor. And let's see, there's another one, the video rubric. This was a rubric for the actual video. And then we have the content materials. These assessments are to help me evaluate students' outcomes for this lesson. I want to determine if the students understand the content and have mastered the materials taught. We have a formative assessment for exploration. The students are going to take a true or false quiz to recall the internal parts of a computer. The students have 1 hour to take the quiz and can be taken in one time, one sitting. And that's taken through TestMoz, and there's the test bank right there. I have an attached link. And then the formative assessment is computer basic learning internal parts of a computer through Kahoot. It's a game that we will play together as a group. And believe that will be everything that's incorporated. They will also use this 5E lesson plan computer PowerPoint as well as one of their added resources. Well, this defines my objectives for this assignment. If you have any questions, just shoot me an email. I'm going to put the link up for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you.